So today I'm going to be doing a Sephora haul. I got just a couple things and it's been a while since I bought anything from Sephora and I was really excited about this new collection. So I will get started and share with you guys what I bought. So I am a huge fan of the Museum of Ice Cream. I love looking at their Instagram. I love everything about it. It's so cute and so fun and I would love to go there one day. But yeah, so Sephora actually did a collection with the Museum of Ice Cream and they came out with some super cute makeup products. So I got two of them. I wanted to kind of get more, but I wanted to kind of hold back a bit because they're a little bit more expensive products, but I ended up getting two of them and I want to review them for you guys and let you guys know if they're worth it or if I'd recommend it or not. This is called the Sugar Wafer palette. So it looks like a little sugar wafer, of course, and it's like two layers. So there is the pink layer here and then the bottom layer has more of like a little yellow kind of color to it. So if I open it up, there are 6 different products in here. The top row has a highlighter, blush, and a kind of bronzery kind of color, but I don't think I would personally use as a bronzer. And then the bottom row again has 3 more colors, but these are a little bit more warm toned. And the price of this one was $36. So again, a little bit more up there for a product, but again, the packaging and the theme and the branding of it really makes it worth it for me. I'm going to try it out today, even though I'm going to like mix a little bit of my usual contour product with it because I want this to still look wearable and not, you know, too glittery. So really quickly, I'm just going to do a soft contour using my Misha coloring multi-stick in the color Peanut Brown. I just do a little bit of this, and then I like to take a large brush like this to really softly blend that out just to kind of give my face a little bit more definition. And then I take just a little bit of my NYX blush in the color Taupe just to kind of deepen that contour just a tiny bit, nothing too extreme. So next I'm going to try to use a little bit of this as a bronzer. I think I'm going to go with the top color because it's a little bit lighter. It's also a little bit more cool tone as well. So I'm going to go with that one. I'm going to go super light because this is very shimmery. So I'm just going to kind of apply a little bit of this around the top of my forehead. I want to keep this very subtle because again, I'm not a huge fan of shimmer all over my face. So you probably can't tell a huge difference from that product. So next, moving on for blush, like I do have 2 options. I could do this really cool toned, a little bit more sparkly one, or I could do the peachier one down here. I'm kind of between the two. This is something I'd more go for, but I kind of want to use the top one just to kind of like step out of my comfort zone a bit. So that one is going to be a little bit more shimmery. I'm going to take just a little bit of that and apply that to the cheek area. As far as a whole lot of color coming off, there's a little bit of color you can see between the 2 cheeks, but I think I'm definitely getting a whole lot of glitter. You probably can't tell, but in person I can see a lot of little micro like shimmery glitter on the skin. So if you're not a huge fan of like shimmery kind of blushes or highlights or bronzers, then you might want to completely skip on this. And I knew it was going to be kind of shimmery and stuff, so I'm not knocking it. I just, you know, don't think it's something I'd use like all that often. So I think I'm going to mix a little bit of that blush as well. That one definitely seems like something I would get a little bit more use out of. And so I'm just going to take that lightly and just kind of top off some of the blush with that. And so now for highlighter, again, I have 2 options. The top one is more of like an icy, white, pinky kind of reflex type of highlighter. And then the bottom one is much more of like a gold kind of color. I think I'm going to go with the pinky one. So with my e.l.f. blush brush, I love this for highlighting. I'm going to pick up some of that product and apply it to the tops of my cheekbones. And I like to kind of really like push the highlighter into my skin. I find that it gives it much more of like a smoother look if you really take your time blending your highlighter. And so that is the highlighter. I think I'll take just a little bit of it kind of down the center of my face, not too much because the pink color is a little bit more noticeable. So far that is the face using the Sugar Wafer palette. Definitely no matte colors in here, which I feel like would have been nice if they did like a shimmer layer and then like a matte layer. That would have been really nice, but it is the Museum of Ice Cream and glitter and shimmer and all that pretty stuff probably just won out in the end. As far as these actual products go, I have to say I'm not a huge fan because every single product in this palette is a shimmer or like a glittery kind of finish. I really wish they would have made the bronzers matte. I feel like that would have made it so much better. But this blush does have quite a bit of like micro shimmer glitter to it. I think the bottom one is slightly more satiny and there's not really as much glitter, so that's a good thing. But as far as the 2 highlighters, they are very like, you know, chunky glitter kind of finish to them. So I think if you really like a super pronounced kind of highlight, you'd like those, but I find that they do tend to exaggerate texture on the skin a bit more, at least on my skin. So those are just some of the little swatches. If you can see, they're definitely really shimmery. And then again, for me personally, like the bronzers, they do have a lot of shimmer. I would probably use these more as like an eyeshadow before I would use these as like a bronzer on my skin. They're just really glowy, and I just find that's not something that would work for me. Maybe if you have a deeper skin tone, that would work better for you, but for me being so fair, I just don't think as bronzers I would use those. And those come off very like copper toned, as you can see, like very, I would again call those more like an eyeshadow for me personally. The palette, it looks so cute. It has a very like K-beauty kind of look to it, even though it's not like a K-beauty product or anything. But I really love this. I thought it was so cute. I love how it looks. It's a little eyeshadow palette. This one is called the Dream Team Pigment Palette, and it looks like a little popsicle. It's so cute. Let me take it out of the box so you can see. So this is what the palette looks like. I think it's so adorable. Some people might think it's really like childish or, you know, really tacky looking, but I thought it was so cute. And when I first saw it, I was like, I need to get that palette. And I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. Whenever I saw the eyeshadow colors, I thought they were pretty, but I was just like, you know, those aren't really colors I feel like I'd get a whole lot of use out of them, but I ended up buying it anyway because for me, I truly love this for more of like a makeup collector's kind of position rather than just like, you know, everyday makeup that I would wear. I think it's really cute and I couldn't resist. So I'm gonna let you guys know what I think about the shadows. That way, you know, if you are just kind of on the fence of whether to get it or not, hopefully this video will help you guys kind of have a better idea of what I think about these products. So in this palette, there are 12 eyeshadow colors. So that is what it looks like. A lot of really bright, fun colors. I think you get about 5 matte colors, and then the rest of them are shimmery kind of colors. Some of them I would say feel a little bit more like a top coat kind of shimmer. But yeah, I've only used this palette once. I'll show you guys how I did this look today. So first I'm gonna take this color here. This one is called Chip, and I'm going to apply that to the crease and just kind of see what happens. First thing I noticed, they do have a lot of pigment to them, but they are a little bit powdery. I can kind of see it's kicking up a bit of powder in the actual palette. I feel like I have to kind of really take my time to blend these a little bit better. There's a lot of color, as you can see, but yeah, I definitely think that I need to take my time blending these a bit. Next, I'm going to take this color here. This one is called Float, and I'm just going to take that on a fluffy blending brush and just kind of apply that to the top right under my eyebrow bone and just kind of blend those two colors together to make them fade a little bit more seamlessly. Next, using this color here, this one is called Cherry. I'm going to, again, take that on my blending brush and I'm going to focus most of that kind of on the outer half of my crease and on my lid. Next, taking this hot pink, this one is called Scream. I'm going to take it on a pencil brush and I'm going to run that just on the lower outer lash line. Next, using this color here, this one is called Mint. I'm going to take that on an eyeshadow shader brush and I'm going to apply that on the inner half of that lower lash line. And that color is super soft, so you definitely don't want to like really scrub your brush into any of these shadows because they are a little bit more on the powdery side. So yeah, definitely be careful with that or else you'll just end up with a huge mess. Next, I'm gonna take this color here. This one is called Cocoa. Interesting name choice. And I'm gonna apply that on the inner half of my lid and blend that inward. There's so many colors that I want to just like keep piling on, but the more that I do, I'm afraid the more like muddy it's going to kind of get. Like it's already kind of heading that way just because I'm using a lot of colors just all over. And then I'm just gonna take a little bit of that color with my finger and just dab it on top. I do think that that shimmer in particular, it is pretty pigmented, but it definitely does have a little bit of sheerness to it. So there's color there, but it's just a little bit sheer. So just keep that in mind. And I'm gonna take just a little bit of this color right here. This one is called Swirl. It's kind of like a whitey pink kind of a duochrome kind of color. And I'm gonna do that just kind of on the inner corner of my eyeshadow. I wanted to use like a whole bunch of colors, so I think I definitely achieved that. I ended up using 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different colors in different ways. So I used this one, these 3, this one here and that one. But I definitely think I want to use it a few more times so I can kind of get an idea of what I completely think about it. But so far, I do have to say the colors, as far as all the colors together, I feel like you're a little limited on like super wearable looks. But of course, I don't really think you're buying this palette for something super wearable. So you do have a lot of pinks and blues and like really fun colors and stuff. So I think as far as like creating a look with this type of palette, you're either going to get something really a little bit more out there, or you'd have to pull in another palette with like some neutral matte shadows or something if you want something like that to make the palette a little bit more wearable. So the price of this was $42, so that's a little bit more up there, especially since you're only getting about 12 shades. And one super cool little thing I just realized is actually right here in the makeup palette, this pulls out, and then inside is a little makeup brush in here that you can use with the palette. This is what the brush looks like. So it's really small, but I think it's super cute. It's a little bit more of like a fluffy kind of brush. Not really one I feel like I'd get a whole lot of use out of, but it is so cute. And I love that there's that little secret compartment in here, so I'm gonna put this back for now. And there's definitely a little spot in here where the brush clicks into. You definitely want to click it into there, because I just realized if you try to close it without it locked into that spot, it will actually get stuck in here, so be careful with that. But that's just a cute little secret feature that I honestly just figured out like 4 minutes ago. Okay, so overall what I think about these eyeshadows, now to be completely honest, I don't think they're the best shadows ever. As far as the mattes go, I think they're pretty pigmented. However, I did have to take a little bit more time blending those just to get like a really nice solid blend. So it definitely took a little bit more effort than I'm used to. However, they were really pigmented, but another problem I had with it is that these shadows, especially the mattes, tend to be very powdery. So you want to be very light when you're dipping your brush into these shadows, because if you really kind of like scrub your brush into it, you're going to kick up a lot of product and waste a lot of shadow. So that's another thing to keep in mind. And as far as these shimmers, I only used about 2 shimmers today, so I definitely think I need to give those a little bit more of a chance before I completely make up my opinion on those. That one is called Cocoa. Interesting name choice, but I found that that one seemed to feel a little bit more like a topper kind of shadow. That's the one I'm wearing over the lid right now, and I find that it just has a little bit of sheerness to it. Like there's a lot of shimmer to it, but as far as like the actual like, you know, solidness of the color, I find that it definitely has a little bit of transparency to it. But as far as the mirror, I really like the mirror. It's actually like a decent size. Like you could do your makeup with this type of mirror, so I think that's really cute. But pretty much as far as the eyeshadows go, like I said, they're not my favorite. I think they're definitely like usable and things like that. But I think with the shimmers, you'd either want to apply those wet or like use a glitter primer or something that really makes them stick to the lid a bit, because I've been wearing this for about 3 hours now since I applied it, and I can already see a lot of fading and stuff with the shadows. So I definitely think it's not the best quality, but for me, I still like it because, like I said, I love the Museum of Ice Cream and I really love the packaging of it. So I would say if I stripped this down without the cute packaging, without the really cute marketing behind it or the branding, would I buy these eyeshadows? I wouldn't give a second thought to these eyeshadows, but I still personally like these because I do like collecting a lot of really cute makeup things. So for me, it's worth it, but as far as the eyeshadows go, I probably would not recommend this. One other thing I forgot to mention about the palette is there are no names on the actual palette on the inside here, and there are no names on the back of the palette either, which is very frustrating because there was totally enough room for them to throw like the eyeshadow names on here. They are on the back of the box, however, but honestly, who's gonna really keep the box to like, you know what the names are? So that's one thing that's a little frustrating about the palette itself. I totally see how there's not room on the inside of the palette for that, but I think there's no excuse for the backside. Like there's tons of room. So that was like one little packaging kind of miss that I had. I really wish they would have put the names on there. If you see on the back of the Wafer palette, however, there are names here. So yeah, they totally could have put the names on the back of the ice cream palette, so I'm not sure why they didn't. They did have some other things in the collection that I thought were so adorable that I'm kind of regretting not getting, which is the brush set. Those are so cute. I'll put a picture of what those look like in case you guys want to see, but it's like the sprinkle pool that they have there, and they're so adorable. But those are like, I think $64 for the brushes, and I think you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 brushes and like a little case for it, which is so cute, but that's just a lot of money. And to be honest, I don't really even know if I'd like those brushes, but like prettiness wise, I think they're so adorable. They also had like a little charm bracelet. I'm not really into that, but that's $28. Looks cute, but I would definitely not wear that. The other thing that I really liked that I was considering buying, but I decided not to at the last moment, was the lip collection that they had. It was called the Let Them Eat Popsicles, which I love. And it's 4 different little lip products. I think they're like lip glosses maybe, but they looked really cute, but very like reminiscent of like Korean beauty and stuff. So I thought those were really cool, but they were $34 and I decided, you know, of the things in this collection, what would I maybe get the most use out of, so I ended up picking the Wafer palette and the eyeshadow palette. And then the last thing they had was like some, to be honest, not really cute in my opinion, false eyelashes. They're like different colors too. They have like 3 colors on them and they like don't go together and they kind of look like feathers stuck on eyelashes. I don't know, but those are $18 and I'm like, no way. But those are definitely some interesting products from the Museum of Ice Cream and Sephora collaboration. So the bottom line, what do I think about these? I have to say, packaging wise, I think they're so adorable, and to be honest, that makes it worth it for me. If I was rating these products, I definitely wouldn't think twice about them if I were to take away the packaging of it and like the marketing and all the cuteness behind it and just think about the actual products themselves, the makeup products. I probably wouldn't recommend these. I think if you're like a super fan of the Museum of Ice Cream, or you just really love beauty products that are super cute and packaged and stuff in such an adorable way, maybe then that would be worth it for you, because I ended up spending like what, maybe like 70 bucks on the 2 of these. So as far as the actual products go, I think I would definitely pass on them knowing what I know now, but I still really like the packaging of them, and the collector, like makeup collector side of me makes it worth it. So you totally just have to decide whether that is something that would be worth it for you, but to be honest, I don't think I'm a huge fan of the beauty products themselves. So that is it for my little Sephora haul first impression try on. I hope you guys found this video helpful. If you did, please like and subscribe. You can follow me on Instagram, link is below, and until my next video, I will talk to you guys later. Bye.